There you are. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Miss Gail at Georgia Peach Nut. How you doing? I'd like to say welcome to all of my new subscribers. Welcome home. And to all of my previous subscribers, my continuous supporters, thank you so much and welcome back. Today what we're going to do is we're outside on the deck, and as you remember, those of you who were with me, excuse the camera work, y'all know me. We planted some turnips from indoors we planted them outdoors that we sowed on the inside of the house for winter sowing. They've been struggling, but they are doing wonderful. They keep coming back. So when your plants look like they're struggling and dying, don't pull them up. Don't pull them up. Leave them out there and see what they're going to do. Okay? So the turnips have come back and they're doing fine. What we're going to do today is interplant, let me sit you down, the turnips with the sweet peas that we started indoors as well. And it's time for these babies to come outside. Everyone remember, and if you don't, if you were not here, go back and look at the video where I started the seeds inside. These are called pea pellets, and you put hot water on them and they swell up to this size. And so I have about maybe 6, I believe, or 5 plants that we're going to plant outside today. The sweet peas, which is what they are going to grow vertically, and the turnips will grow more horizontal. They will still grow up, but they won't get as tall as the sweet peas, which is a good thing. If you're interplanting, that's a good way to do it, good rule of thumb to have. So we're going to, let me just situate these over here. Now, I'm planting these 2 different ways. You can keep these inside of the pellet. These are biodegradable. You can put them in the ground or put them in your container or in your box outside or wherever you're planting them. And it's fine. You don't have to disturb them, which means you'll hold on to these roots. And that's not a good example. Let's see here. Yeah, this one. The roots comes through, penetrates through the material. So you don't have to disturb them. But if you want to disturb them, you can, and you can just plant it in the ground like this or in your container. But you don't want to plant it any deeper than what it is inside of this pea pellet. In other words, you plant it to this level. You don't want to plant it all the way up here. Plant it to about here. You can put the soil on top of that, that's fine, as long as you don't go way up here, okay? And this is another one right here, has great roots. See how they come through? And they're called peat pellets. Peat, P-E-A-T, pellets. So let's get on with it. I'm going to just kind of situate these out. These are the ones I took out of the peat pellet to let you know you can grow them out of the peat pellet, but it lost some roots now. You're going to lose some roots. So we're going to keep hope alive and pray that works out. I'm sure it will. So let's get you situated to where you can see pretty good. And let's see here, sit your back, back, like that. Okay. And I'm gonna probably bring you down. Hold on for a second. Y'all know me, I'll drop the camera or I'll lose you. Hold on. Okay, I think I got you okay. Now, y'all know I have this little inexpensive tripod, so don't do all that bending and stuff. Before I get started, I do want you to know, for those of you who don't know, the ingredients that I use, which I'm going to take these out so that I can do this the right way for everybody, because I hopefully have some new people watching. But I use the Dr. Earth. This is organic. This is vegetable, tomato, and herb fertilizer. It will not burn your plant. The other fertilizers, like the 10-10-10, 13-13-13, 15-15, and so forth, they will burn your plant. so you can't put it directly on the plant or on the roots. You have to be very careful. I'm just spreading this around in areas that I think I'm going to be planting. This soil is already rich because I've been fertilizing it with just the turnips in here. And if this were collards or whatever, I would just do nitrogen. For those of you who don't know, your three main ingredients is nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium that you want to place when you're growing your plants. And so this is NPK. NPK, for those of you who don't know, and it's okay if you don't. I won't hold it against you. That was some bone meal that I just put in there. Your phosphorus and potassium right here in your bone meal. This right here coming up is, if I can pick it up, blood meal. Get this at the big box store. Bone meal, blood meal, and you have the other one which has all three in it. The vegetable, tomato, herb, which I love, love, love. It has done me a great deal of wonders on my plant. All of this really does. And this are my three to go to. I have some other amendments that I do add as my plants are growing, that I will show to you that I use. But for right now, this is the main ingredient. So I'm going to stir, stir, stir. You stir it in. Just stir it in, and you can sit your plant on it once you mix some of the soil in with it. Stir this in over here, because I don't really know exactly where I'm going to put them, so I'm just putting it in spots that I see that looks like it's kind of vacant. This kind of container, you see how it flutes up. It flutes up. So you don't want to plant way up here, up against here. You want to go away from it about maybe 2-3 inches, so when your plant starts growing and the roots flare out, it won't hit this, because if it hits it, it can't grow any further and it stunts the growth. Just thought I'd let y'all know about that. So these are nice and they're cute, but they you have to be careful. If you come up this high with your soil, you're going to have to go in, because you look at the drop down right down in here. That's going to prohibit your plant or whatever you put in here, keep it from growing. Be careful when you're interplanting. Interplanting is one of the best things you can do. But when you're interplanting, like this is already here, and I'm adding to this container, you want to make sure that when you go down and start looking for a spot to put your plant in, make sure there's no roots down in there. Because these roots, you want to make sure you're not touching those roots or disturbing those roots, because that would be bad. I'm finding sticks down in here, so as I find the sticks, particles of mulch, I'm taking them out, because it's kind of hard for your roots to grow through something like this. This piece of stick or rock. You want to take as much of it out as possible. Don't spend a whole lot of time looking for it, but if you run across it with your hands like I'm doing here, take it out. Just take it out. Okay, so I've mixed this in, and I'm away from this end right here. So here we go with our first plant. First little pea it's gonna go right here, and I'm gonna put it about like this. Bring you in so you can see that it's sitting right here on top. I can cover it with some soil, but very thin covering. Very, very thin covering. Because the plant's already in there. It's already grown up. It's already decided the level that it wants to grow at. So that's number one. Let's go to number two. There's another one right here. And I believe I have enough room to go here. And I'm going to let that kind of hang that way. Drop it in. And just going to cover it up. And of course, when it was when I brought them out, they weren't drooping, but I have disturbed their, living habits. So of course now they just need to reroot themselves down into here. So here's number 3, I'm sorry. And it has 2 in there. I'm going to leave both of them in there. They'll be just fine. Okay, then we have our little baby. I thought I had 2 of these, but it's okay. I'm going to put this little baby over here. And you always hold your root by the stem. Your plant by the stem. Don't squeeze it. When you're doing this, you always hold it by the stem. And I'm getting some of this soil off of the turnip, because if the soil gets on your leaves, it will rot your leaves down. So you don't want that. I'm going to come back and water this in. I'll let you see me do that just a second. Get everybody snuggled in. Make sure we have the soil away from around the turnips as far as the turnip leaves are concerned, because we do not want to have these rotten. So we're going to put some mulch around it. You mulch these in, and I'll show you how to do that. Surely. Okay. There you go. Put some of this. We don't waste no soil, so we're going to put the soil that came off back in here. It's fine. Unless something's wrong with the soil, we're going to reuse that soil. Always reuse the soil. Hold on just a second.